Okay, guys, I just had to I just had to get up because the light's kind of hurting my eyes a little bit. Sorry about that. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. All right, so the sixth and final topic here. Make sure I didn't skip any. Okay, I didn't. So our sixth and final topic. The sixth and final topic. Why do people collect movies, comics, toy figures, etc. if they don't have time to watch, read, or even display them? And this is a very good question because, not only does it appeal to me, but it's also a question that could appeal to people like Zara Nizarek, Sean McLean, Patrick Butler, it's Frank Hill, Animat, Matt Brunette, if you sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. To Channel Awesome, to Cinemassacre, to Pat the NES Punk, Black Nerd Comedy, Andre Meadows. The list goes on. This is a good question that appeals to all of us, that relates to all of us, because I'm sure a lot of us have been asked this question. Why do we collect movies, comics, toy figures, etc., if we don't have time to watch, read, or even display them? And I think the reason, and I think, in my opinion, my honest answer and opinion, I think the reason we do that is because of the fact that we, as collectors that grew up at a certain time, like let's say the 80s, let's say the 80s or even the 90s or even the 70s, we look at the fact that we may not, when it comes to movies or even television shows, like let's say on Blu-ray or DVD or even 4K Ultra Blu-ray, we realize we may not get another chance at owning any of these things. We realize that. We realize that, for example, I look at, let me see, and visually, and if you're listening to this on the BW Roses Discussion Audio podcast, I'm going to be showing them something as an example. It's kind of like this. This is this was originally the San Diego Comic-Con Hasbro Pulse Twilight Through the Years, if you will, to celebrate the 35th anniversary of My Little Pony. 35. Or 30, 35, 36 years. Anyway, this is the Twilight Through the Years collectible, the figure. And basically, the reason someone like me or anybody else would buy this thing and even, buy it or pre-order it or order it when it first came out, or when we went to San Diego Comic-Con, bought it there, is because we know we may not get another opportunity of something like this ever again. We know that. We may not get an opportunity to own something like this, ever again in our lifetime. We realize that. Which is why a lot of us, buy this kind of stuff. And when it comes to, well, wait a minute, why would you buy it if you haven't had a chance to maybe display it or anything like that in the package or out of the package? And mainly the reason some of us may not have that opportunity is real simple. The reason some of us may not have that opportunity is due to the fact that we may have other things in life come up. Like for me at a time, for 6.5 years, it was work. And there was also family activities as well. The same could be said for Patrick Butler. Same could be said for Frank Hill. Same could be said for Zara Nizarek, Sean McLean. Same could be said for Animat. Same could be said for Cinemassacre, Channel Awesome, Andre Meadows, Rob the Wonderful, Bob Show, Rob Thomas, and the list goes on of basically the fact that, we may collect things like movies and, like I just showed you, like collectible figures like the Twilight Through the Years MLP figure. But the reason we don't have a chance to maybe display them or, talk about them, do reviews on YouTube or anything about them is because other things get in the way, like work and life, family, stuff like that. That's the stuff that kind of has to take main center priority at times, if not most times. That's why we don't always have time to, let's say, watch a movie. Like I've got a bunch of movies. As you have seen already in my recent DVD Blu-ray collection update videos that I put up, even the latest one today. Me and my mom have a bunch of movies that, basically, we haven't had a chance to go through them all because life takes center stage. Life and family takes center stage. Work, life, and family take center stage. It's like with Zaron Nizarak, Sean McLean. People could send him a bunch of packages with stuff, that either he has or doesn't have, or it's kind of hinted that, he wish he had the finances to get and stuff, but he can't. The reason he hasn't had a chance to watch all the movies that he has or read all the comic books that he has, all the regular novel books or whatever that he has, is because he has life, because life takes main center stage for him. Spending time with his 12-year-old daughter, is going to take priority with him, because he knows that time is fleeting. He knows time is fleeting with her because next year she's going to be 13 years old. She's going to be she's basically around the same age as my nephew, my second to youngest nephew. She's going to be in her teens. And whether it's true or not, when girls get into the teen years, they start focusing on other things. They want to do other stuff. They want to spend more time hanging out with their friends at malls or at, shopping, at malls or wherever. So he realizes time is fleeting, and that's why life and family and spending life and family take main priority over him over him than, let's say, having time to go and read a comic book collection he recently got, or watch a variety of movies in one sitting. It's basically life takes main precedent over him. And that's the truth. Everybody always says, well, James Rolfe, he has a lot of NES games and all these other games. Why doesn't he play them all and maybe choose the worst ones to do reviews on and get the AVGN episodes out as quickly as possible? It's because he's a father now. And life as a father and a family man takes main priority. The same thing with Chris Bowers. Chris Bowers has other activities outside of game collecting and stuff, like looking into the supernatural and the paranormal. But, if you ask why is he collecting movies and comics and toys, figures, and etc. and games and all that, if he doesn't have time to watch them, read them, or even play them, it's because his other job, his other love, his other activity that he likes to do sometimes takes main precedent over that, as well as life itself takes main precedent over that. So basically, in the long run, it's life. That's what it is. Same thing with Andre Meadows. Everybody always wonders the same thing about him. Why doesn't he do more videos, or why does he collect these movies and do these Black Friday hauls and all that, and spend money on these movies and these collectible figures and and not have a chance to watch them or display them or play them or whatever? It's because life takes main center stage. That's the thing. Life takes main center stage. But on top of all that, there's one thing that everybody has said that is that besides saying that life takes main precedent over what they do, over the collecting, there is one thing that a lot of them say that is, it may sound like an excuse, but it's a very good excuse and a very good reasoning and a very good answer. And that is, once they collect something, purchase it and collect it or make it part of the collection, it's theirs forever. So they have an infinite, unlimited amount of time. That all depends on whether or not the rapture happens at any time. But anyway, besides that, putting that aside, because again, it could happen at any time. But besides that, they realize that until that day happens, they have an unlimited amount of time to shuffle through the movies when and where they want to, then talk about them when and where they want to. They have enough time to read the comics and stuff that they've collected and review them at any time. They realize they have time to play the games when they want to play them because they have them forever. And same thing with the toy figures. They realize, hey, we may have not had time to display them right off the bat and talk about them right off the bat, but we have them forever. They're ours forever. We can display and talk about them at any time. We can do reviews on them anytime. And that's about it. That's about it. Some people may not agree with that, but that's the truth. That's that excuse for saying, hey, we have it forever, so we can choose when and where we decide to talk about it and watch it. It is a legitimately good excuse and reasoning as to why, when they collect, they don't automatically talk about something, or they don't automatically watch something or read something, because they're taking their time on it. Heck, I have to still do a review on the Friendship is Magic issue 2 and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Not My Little Pony Friendship is Magic issue 2, but My Little Pony Transformers Friendship in Disguise and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic season 10. I still have to read and do a review on those. And I've had those for about 2-3 weeks now. But am I in any hurry? No. The reason I'm not in any hurry is because I have them forever. They're mine. I can do it at any time. And that's why, people collect movies. That's why people collect movies, comics, and toy figures, and etc. In the long run, even if they don't have time to watch, read, or even display them, they collect them because they know that they have them forever. They have them for that unlimited amount of time, and that they can choose when and where they want to watch, read, and even display them. So yeah, basically that's why people collect, because they realize that even though the collections may get big, they still have plenty of time. There's no time limit. There's no 48 to 96 hour time limit. There's no midnight striking and the glass slipper falling off kind of deal. So, that's why, people, so that's why people collect, because, that's why people collect, movies and comics and toy figures, etc. Because they know in today's world, in today's, day and age, that they can choose when and where they watch them, read them, play them, and display them, and then eventually maybe talk about them down the line. So that's really about it. Yeah, I know about that, David Hinkle. He was telling me about Josie and the Pussycats coming to Blu-ray. Yeah, I know that. But like I said, and even David Hinkle here that just showed up in the live chat, he's along the same lines of those that I just mentioned. he collects movies, comics, toy figures, etc. But even he doesn't have the time to watch all the movies he has, or read all the comics he has, or display his collectibles where he wants or when he wants, because life takes precedent. So yeah, that's basically in the long run, guys, why people collect movies, comics, and toy figures, etc. In my opinion, because they realize that when they purchase them and they collect them, they have them for the unlimited amount of time, no restraints, no nothing, and they can watch, read, and display them at any time they want. There's no, at any time they want. There's no time limit or anything. And by doing so, they can also review them if they choose, like if they have and they can also choose to review them should they decide to go that route as well, even after they watch, read, or display them, or even play them as well. So, yeah, that's why people basically, ladies and gentlemen, collect movies, have that collective taste of collecting movies, comics, toy figures, etc. Because they realize, hey, we may buy and collect them now, but we won't have time to watch them right away as soon as we buy them. But we don't have to worry because we can watch them at any time, or we can read them at any time, or we can display them at any time, or we can play the games at any time because we have it forever. It's ours, kind of deal. So that's why people do the collecting, like I said, of said media, if you know what I mean, of the movies, comics, toy figures, etc. So anyway, though, guys, that's